Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. We're doing a little bit of a show you what a conversion van looks like on the inside video. If we look up here, we took the TV out, and what you can see the metal aluminum L brackets coming off the steel frame. That frame is part of the topper, the fiberglass topper. You can see the fiberglass. You can see where the van body was cut away. We've got all the wires tucked up and everything. So you can see the fiberglass on top. That's the low part. You can tell that's the low part of the topper. So if we had the bubble top topper, it would be bigger up front and more storage, and you would just open the shelf up. Now we can open the shelf up. I'm probably going to put a piece of plywood across the bottom, straighten some things out, put in some insulation and covering material, and just keep it kind of the way it is. I don't mind these little cubbies. They're a little small, but that keeps me from overloading the weight. I don't have a need to put water up there or anything, solar heat, whatever. It might be it gives me a good idea of what's between the fiberglass and the roof. So should I be wanting to put a fan-powered vent, a powered fan vent in, that gives me an option. I just want to make this look neat and be storage. So I'm probably going to put some fiberglass or some plywood up there and frame this out with the wood that we have left over. Make sure I cover where the insulation is. Just that. I think that's just going to give me a big storage cubby, and that's really all I want. Just some blankets or stuff. I don't know what's going up there, but we've got the weight. Somehow that thing was 30 pounds of TV, so we've got that out. And that's actually the important part. It also came down far enough that it just makes your head bumping more difficult. We could, if we really wanted to, pull off the very nice interior work, move it forward to the cut line, have a little more headroom. I really don't see a need for that. I want to, if I could make this match, I would actually make it match and put another door in. But we'll make it as good as possible. I'll try to match the mahogany, oak, whatever finish on this. And yeah, we're just going to do that. You can see how a conversion van is made. Look at that. And then we're going to take a look at the, let me get you to a spot. There we go. And we're going to take a look at, other stuff. Today might be a day to look at bed box. It was raining really hard. We're in one of the tornado watch areas, but we're not actually having a problem. But it rained a lot last night, so we're kind of recovering from that. Everything has to dry out. In the meantime, we've got some projects done. We got the side door latch, the inside latch replaced, the cable that actuates it, yesterday. So that the side door finally works easily. The outside handle, the handle itself, where the cable connects, is bent up, and we can try to unbend it, but it's probably going to break. So we're probably going to have to replace the handle, which means drilling out the pop rivets, doing new pop rivets, and that whole thing. And that's probably going to wait until we get to a shop or someone who knows how to do it, because I'm not going to buy an entire kit to do pop rivets for one door handle, so I'm just not going to mess with it. We can open it from the inside. You can reach the inside from the passenger side, so I'm happy. Everything opens up. We're going to do the rear door because the outside handle cable has stretched too much, so we're just going to replace both cables on the rear door now. Since we bought both, since we have the kit. That'll help. Next thing, we did take off the plastic trim, okay, that goes around, it was a rattly, hollow plastic trim, and it had the blinds on it. I'll show you the other side. Walking slowly. slowly. We have one left. That's this one. I've not taken this one off yet. I'm going to do that today. What that does when you take them off is it leaves you with all of the glorious metal and this whole window frame. All right. And with that window frame, you can just magnet on window coverings, and that's going to be way easier. And they can be really thick if we need insulation or whatever. I could go and try to put in opening windows. I don't really think I want to do that. But these are bolted in. There's butyl tape that we got to replace. And then they're just bolted in, 4 bolts per window. And that means I can do something else if I want to. If we rig up a different system with opening, closing, powered fan vents, whatever, we can do that. Let's get back over here for a minute. I don't want to make that look junky. I don't want to put a window air conditioner in there or something, so that's not what we're gonna do. Look at my face. So, this one has an opening. The narrow door on a Ford, the narrow side door, does actually still have that hardware for an opening window. So maybe one of them will replace with an opening one if I can find the hardware to junkyard cheap. But I really like these don't pry it open windows. And I think you can get a lot of insulation value in there if you need to. This, you can tell, is all scratched up from someone trying to remove the 10% window tint on that side without actually doing the job right. We did peel the rest off up here, but that we've got to clean over here. You can see the film is getting ready to peel now that we've got all the plastic off. We might just pull these when we're parked in a spot for a couple of days, where I can get some tinting done. Pull these and then take all of the non-moving side windows that we're not going to replace. So there's 4 of them. If we take them and we do it right, maybe we'll get them tinted with like an 80%, 70%, because they're not windows that you need. You know, maybe we'll try to match the tint level of these outside windows, the RV windows, right? So we can do that, and it gives us a little more privacy, whatever. I really like the idea of heavily tinting. I would even retint the side windows a little bit darker just to keep the privacy going without having to rely on campy shades. I don't know what else to say. You know, I don't have any magnets or snaps or anything set up for window coverings for the side. I could, of course, screw snaps in anywhere here to do the same job. So you can have snap-on window covers like Sunbrella or Canvas or something. We'll see. I think airflow is going to be important, and so I think 1 or more windows is going to come off and get replaced with I don't know. I don't want to say plywood, but plywood is the material of choice, but some sort of material with a powered vent fan in it. So the other thing I'm thinking about for rain is getting a hood set up here so that when it's raining, it doesn't rain in the window. So it's a thought. That's about it. There's not a lot else. This van is actually in pretty good shape as it is. I don't want to make too many modifications. You know, I don't want to go crazy on it unless we're going to keep it forever. And to be honest, when we're not struggling with tornado level windstorms, gale force winds, you know, we've been getting 19 miles to the gallon. 19 miles to the gallon at Let's see, the total average, the sum total average, since we're going to talk about this for just a moment, was until we hit the storm in Texas and we hit the tornado track, our average from Arizona through the mountains into Van Horn was actually 17.75 miles to the gallon, and our average after we got out of the one mountain pass area was actually hitting 19. So we were hitting 19 on the Texas roads before we hit the storm, and the New Mexico roads before we hit the storm once we got on I-25. So that's a reason to work on this van, polish it up, and keep it, because the mileage is really, really good. The E4OD transmission is easy to repair, replace, whatever. It's the small Triton V8. So this is the 4.8, I think it is. It's the V8, not the V6. And it's a really good engine, really solid, just runs. It doesn't do super well uphill with the van loaded down. That's just normal. It's like if you've got the Dodge 300, the smaller 305, whatever, the Dodge Magnum engine on a van, it's the same thing. You know, the B200 vans, you have to go out of overdrive and you're not gonna do 80 miles an hour up a grade. That's fine. It's a conversion van. It's basically an RV. Just assume you're doing 55 up the grades and 60 to 65 on the highway, and your mileage is great. Given all of that, I might make some modification plans that are intended to keep this longer. An outside table would actually be really good, or an outside table mount on the side of the van, either side. That's really helpful. It's really helpful to have the long, solid table, and nothing's more solid than the van you live in. We might also go with a low-profile air conditioner some point. I don't know if we're going to have hookups or not. You know, I don't know. There's a couple of things about where we're going to stay as we do this, like overnight camping in desolate areas, boondocking. Totally fine. We can set up a tent if we want to. We don't have to set up a tent. We can do whatever. Being able to hook a table onto the side of the van and unpack stuff for the night, that's all really good. When we're doing campgrounds or state parks or national parks, which is our ideal, because see that tent? That's one of the pirates. She sleeps alone in the tent back there. Being able to do it that way and stay for a couple of days is really nice. If we could set up a second tent so that we have like screen tent, like a place to unpack stuff, and that would be nice too. So we'll see how this all goes. I may be modifying the van more. We're going to do the bed box. I'm going to do some video work on the bed box, and I'll show you what I end up doing on top for the shelf. It's just an empty storage area. I think if I get it padded and covered, you know, non-destructively, then we can just put some, you know, pillows, blankets, stuff, clothing, special clothing for special weather situations, whatever, up there. And that'll ease the load down here. So that's it. Long video, not a whole lot going on except van stuff. We're in Texas. It's not raining at the moment. It rained heavy last night, which is why everything's a mess. And we're just going to keep on keeping on. It is nice to relax. It is nice to get to this. It's nice to actually slow the pace. I hope you get a chance to do that soon. Stay sideways.